Hello everyone, welcome to the second session of pre-season. We're going to do our first core set. We're going to start with the 2-minute plank. I'm going to explain what we're doing, why we do that, to help pass the time. Good luck. And begin. So, if you can't do a full 2-minute plank, that is not a problem. Take breaks where you need to. I just encourage you to do your best. For those of us who have never done a plank before, you want to look exactly like I'm looking. Shoulders directly above your elbows, hands together, hands apart. Doesn't really make a difference. Toes nice and together, makes it a bit more tricky. If you open up like this, you're only really doing half the work. So here we are, nice and stable. And what you really want to focus on is activating your core, activating your glutes. It's a weird thing to think about activating your legs doing a plank, but so long as we're working on core, you need to focus on all the stability muscles involved in core exercises. So to activate your glutes is not too difficult. You just really want to squeeze them together, push your knees together. You'll feel your quads working. We're halfway there, guys, with this 1-minute plank. To activate your core, what you want to do is, it helps when you activate your glutes, but rotate your hips inwards. If you're a dog, you tuck in your tail. That's the kind of movement you're getting over here. It's really going to help keep your back straight. Keep a nice straight line between the top of your heels, your glutes, and your shoulders. And you're just going to squeeze your core. You're going to work on, throughout the session and then in your own time, learning how to squeeze your core properly. You want to squeeze the bottom part of your core. If you kind of just flex the whole thing, I'll demonstrate just now, but it's quite difficult to breathe. So you want to flex your core in such a way that it's activating, that is keeping you solid and stable, but that is not inhibiting your movement, that is not making it more difficult to breathe. We'll get to that now. We have 10 seconds left of this plank. Squeezing your stomach, squeezing your glutes, gritting your teeth for 4 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and done. Well done. So, what I was saying about that core thing. If you imagine holding in a V, the muscles you use there, that's what you're going to do. So if I'm lying down like this to stretch out, these muscles over here, that's kind of what you need to activate when you activate your core. You find if you tense your core and really squeeze hard, you're using all of this over here, and you're crouching, you're flexing, you're decreasing lung capacity, it's really difficult to breathe, right? Really difficult to open up and stretch out, which is what you need to be doing when you're going up for that disc. When you're running, you want to be long, your chest wants to be open, and when you squeeze your core like that, you hunch over, it's difficult to breathe. So what you want to do is work on focusing this, activating this bottom part of your core over here. You do that by tilting your hips in, squeezing your bum, tucking in your tail, and like holding in a V, activating those funny muscles that you've never thought about. If you put your fingers just inside your pants over here, you can feel it between your abs and your hip flexors. There's that funny, tiny muscle. That's what you really want to focus on. I'll be drilling a lot of attention to that throughout the session and throughout our core session. And it's a great set of muscles to work on activating when you're doing any sort of workout whatsoever. Because if your core is stable, it's really going to set the precedent for the rest of your body, help you focus on what you need to focus on. Okay, so that being said, we're going to jump into a minute of V-sit. I really hope everyone knows how to do a plank. V-sit is quite similar. You want to straighten your legs, you want to put out your arms. If you do need to bend your legs or, just sitting on your bum, that's alright. But we do want to avoid that. You really want to challenge yourself, legs up, toes pointed, nice V, activating your core. We're in for 20 seconds. We'll find it gets a lot more difficult as the time goes, but that's alright. Great time now to focus on flexing your stomach, especially this bottom part over here, keeping your balance, doing it in such a way that breathing is not too difficult. 20 seconds left. Let's keep it up. Your core, apart from helping your back be not take up a lot of the strain when you're lifting weights or doing rigorous exercise, it's the main contributing factor of having a nice core. That's 1 minute up. is it really helps negate back injuries. Yeah, when your core and your glutes work in tandem with one another, it just sets a nice environment for the rest of your body to function properly and without injury. So that's our warm-up done. Well done if you're still with me. What we're going to do now is we're going to get into a nice sit-up position. We're not going to come up. We're going to keep our heels in line with our hips or our shoulders, a little bit more forward. Nice, activating our core such that we push the lower part of our back into the ground. That's what we're really focusing on over here. Bringing our knee into our hand, you're going to push. You're going to feel this line over here across your core. Really activate, really do a lot of work. And you're going to push as hard as you can for about 4 seconds. After those 4 seconds, you're going to release. Let your leg go out straight to release that, bring it up, and switch over. Okay, we are going to superset that with a nice core activation exercise. That's really just a break. So yeah, we're going to do each leg 4 seconds, 4 seconds. We're going to do 4 of those, and yeah, bear with me. We're going to do all of that 3 times. So here we stand, shoulders off the ground, no need for them to touch the ground. You can feel your core is working a little bit already. Knee into hand and push for 1, 2, 3, 4, and release. Straighten that leg, touch the ground, bring it back. Good stuff. You really want to squeeze your core really hard when you're pushing in over here. That's the main focus. Next leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, and release. Knee up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've done 2 each leg. We're halfway there. 1, 2, 3, 4. You are pushing as hard as you can. You are squeezing your core as tight as you can when you do this. 2, 3, 4. Release to go down. Bring it up. Last 2. 2, 3, 4. And last 1. 2, 3, 4. And release. That's set 1. Yeah, I'll say it again. What you really want to focus on when you're doing that is not activating your quads, not activating your shoulder. You just want to lock your arm into your knee and use your core to pull that together. It's really going to help stabilize your hips. Funny enough, we had to think about Chaturanga, they'll tell you exactly why. Stabilize your hips and work your core in a way that when you run, you're not going to overexert your hips. You're going to be stable the whole time. And yeah, you're not going to get injured. That's the whole purpose of this prehab session, is to avoid injury and prep yourself for a very tough season. Okay. The next step you're going to do is to take 2 fingers, put them right next to your ab muscles, and then activate your push your lower back into the ground, and then activate the muscles used to hold in a wee, and you'll feel you can feel them work. If you can't, just push around and really focus on that. Being able to activate your core like this is paramount for any sort of core stability exercise. So you want to activate 3 seconds, release 3 seconds. Activate 3 seconds, release 3 seconds. If this is your first time doing this workout routine, great, stay with me. We're going to carry on. If it's your second time or you've done this before, that whole explanation part, you're in on 3 seconds or 3 seconds. We'll get more structured now. Cool, that's 1 set done. Lie on my backs for that knee activating again. 2, 3, 4. Release, leg down, up. Lock shoulder, tense core. 2, 3, 4. Release down, up again, shoulders off the floor. No need for them to touch the ground. Knee to hand. Release, halfway there for the set. Knee to hand, lock, squeeze. Next leg, 4, and down. Last 2, knee to hand, really squeezing. You should feel the burn. You should feel activation at least. Hopefully you're fit by the 3rd or 4th time you do this. And there we are. So now we can straighten out. It really helps activate this funny core muscle if you're touching it. Same like calf, bicep, quad. If you're touching it, you're really focusing on it, helps to activate. So if you're trying to teach yourself to activate any particular muscle group, first lay your hands on it. As weird as that is to say, it really does help. Okay, so you're flexing for 3 seconds and off for 3 seconds. Again, if this is the 2nd time you're watching this, flex for 3 seconds, off for 3 seconds. You would be doing this flex on and off as I explained this. Flex for 3 seconds, off for 3 seconds. And we'll do our last set, off for 3 seconds. The focus of that is really just to train you how to activate your core in that way, so you can implement it into the rest of your exercises. It's not strenuous by itself. It's about as strenuous as flexing your quad or bicep. You're just training yourself how to flex that small, often unused muscle group. Now, final set of this set of exercises. Knee to hand, pushing in, activating core, 4 seconds, and release the leg. Come up. Same other side. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Getting shoulders off the ground, core activated the whole time. 3, 4. Just more activated as you push real hard. 2, 3, 4. Okay, halfway there. Knee to hand, 2, 3, 4. And down. Knee to hand, 3, 4. And done. Now, I'm going to explain the next set we're going to do. If you've heard me explain this before, now's the time when you're still lying down, fingers on your stomach, feeling those muscles activate. Again, it's really weird analogy, but if you're trying to hold in a P, you're activating these muscles. So just visualize that as you work on activating your core. Right, the next set we're going to do, you guys can keep activating as I explain. We're going to do reverse crunches mixed with sit-ups. We're going to do 3 times, X amount of reps. I'm going to do 12. If you're just starting out, you can start with 8, no worries, and then work your way up over the course of a month. Ideally by then, there'll be another video series out to work on Prehab 2. But yeah, starting with 8 and working your way up to 10 or 12 reps, and I'm going to be doing 12, so you guys can keep up regardless of which phase you're on. We're going to do reverse crunches and sit-ups. Again, you really want to focus on squeezing the bottom part of your core. Why the bottom, not the top? Again, so you can take a full breath of air when you're running, when you taking impact, when you're being active. Your lungs are more important than anything else because they help the rest of your body function. So you really want them to be able to expand and contract freely. That's why you don't squeeze your stomach like this. It hunches over, it compacts your lungs. You really want to be able to stretch out your stomach and activate your lower core, and that's what we focused on, okay? So reverse crunches, quite simple, sit-up position, but instead of bringing your head up to your knees, you're going to bring your knees up to your chest, getting your lower back, coccyx off the floor, and we're going to jump from there into sit-ups. Sit-ups, we're going to show you a few different variations on how to negate cheating, and then the most important thing is to squeeze your stomach, so on the way down, you're still working. It is tough, it's going to burn, but it'll be worth it tomorrow. And immediately afterwards, and for the rest of your life. So, without being any more dramatic, let's begin. Sit-up position, shoulders off the ground, never any reason for them to be on the ground when you're doing the core exercises. Heels off the ground, straight legs, knees to chest. Oh, nice squeeze. 2, 3, 4, nice and controlled the whole time. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Notice, even when I'm fully extended, you can take a breath. Obviously I'm relaxing now, but you can take a breath and you'll still be able to take a full breath even though your core is activated. Without taking a break, sorry about that, into sit-ups, up for 1, down nice and slow, 2, down nice and slow, 3, down nice and slow, 4, 5, 6, halfway. At the end of a very tough core session, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, last one, 12. You'll find, if you're like me, it's much more difficult to go down slowly than it is to bring yourself up. That's dealing with the eccentric muscle movements we spoke about in my intro session. So you really have to focus on the decline of your sit-up, and that's really going to help, 1, work your whole lot harder, 2, help focus on how to activate your core, and 3, cause a lot more pain. Which, I guess, if there's not a joint or a bone, it's probably a good thing, right? No problem, but for this set, it is a good thing. Taking a short break. As you sit here as well, you can focus on activating that lower part of your core. It is more difficult sitting, it's more difficult standing when your legs are active. So work your way up, really focus on how to do that. And good luck. We're about to start our second set. The reverse crunches are going to be exactly the same as the first one. Squeeze hard enough to lift your bum off the ground. What you really don't want to do is just get your bum off the ground by a lot of leg momentum. That's negating your abs. That's not really why we're here. So nice and slow and controlled the whole time. 1, 2, 3, 4, heels don't touch the ground, 5, shoulders don't touch the ground, 6, squeeze enough to bring your hips up, 7, 8, if you can touch your nose with your knees, that's great, 10, last 2, 1 more, and 12. Now, you'll notice with sit-ups, there are ways to cheat. One of the ways is to put your toes under a bed or something heavy, and that way when you pull yourself up, you are using your hamstrings. Again, if you want to work your hamstrings, go back to leg session 1 or forward to leg session 2. We are here to focus on our abs. So a nice way to focus on your stomach is to not hook your feet under if you are looking to negate the use of your hip flexors. You can do sit-ups in a butterfly position like this. It's also really going to focus on the ab core portion of things. Alternatively, you can lie flat. Again, shoulders up off the ground, hands to knees. If you come up further than this, you're no longer using your core, using your glutes and your back. So you don't want to come up this high. As soon as your hands touch your knees, you can go down. Okay, 2, 3, and you get in here, 4, not by swinging your arms, 5, but by flexing your core, 6, and counterbalancing with your feet, 7, 8, the top of your abs will be working, and that's not a problem as long as the bottom of your core is still flexed as it should be. That's how you work all your entire ab. It's just one muscle, not 8 different ones. Kind of like your bicep, you can overwork the top. I think we're on 9. You can overwork the bottom with your abs, just like the rest of your muscles. 10, you want to work the whole thing properly. 11, 12. So this superset we're doing at the end, the sit-ups will have more focus on the top, and the reverse crunches will have focus on the bottom. But either exercise you do, you really need to focus on activating your core from the bottom. Just like when you do legs of any exercise, you set your glutes backwards, you set your bum backwards, and that sets the precedent for the rest of your legs. And when you're doing arms, you roll your shoulders backwards, you set your shoulders, and that'll help when you're working your chest or your back or your arms. It helps keep posture, it helps keep you aligned, and that really is the focus of what we're doing. So setting your shoulders before you do arm exercises, either pulling or pushing, or setting your glutes before you do squats, is exactly the same as setting your core before you do core exercises. And that's the main focus of this session. Yes, it's going to hurt, but really what we want to do is teach ourselves to flex our core correctly and in a multitude of different movements. Okay, that being said, we can move on to our last set. This one was nice and short, hopefully challenging nonetheless. And good luck for core session 2. Hands behind your head, shoulder off the ground, heels off the ground. 1, squeeze enough to lift your glutes. 2, 3, squeezing from your lower core. 4, 5, nice and controlled. 6, 7, don't forget to breathe. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Losing breath at the end there. Remember, the harder you flex during that exercise, the higher your glutes, your coccyx is going to come off the floor, and that is the goal, to get it as high as possible while flexing your core. But you want to be controlled all the way up and all the way down, otherwise your momentum is negating the muscle work we're trying to do here. Final set onto crunches, or sit-ups, sorry. Again, this will negate your hip flexors. Hooking your feet under will use way too much of your legs. Legs out straight helps work on your core. Undoing this one, there's a lot of options for you. Please feel free to do whichever one you want, but don't cheat. Really focus on activating your core. Last 12. Here we go. 2, 3. Whichever variation you do, you are starting by flexing your lower core, and the harder you flex, the more you come up. 5, 6, 7, 8, nearly there. 9, 10, 11, 12. Unlike reverse crunches, your heels in this position are always on the floor. I know I'm telling you at the end, but I also know this is not the last time you're going to do this exercise, so remember that for next time. Well done on a good session. I hope you saw today, I hope you saw tomorrow. Either way, there's an improvement from where you were 15 minutes ago, so good job. Well worked, and we'll see you next time. Good luck for the season, and really work on activating that core so you don't come away with back injuries, and you can be strong throughout the tournament, throughout the season, and have a really good off season at the end of it. Good luck, and see you next time.